The Calgary Police Service Homicide Unit is investigating a suspicious death after responding to a call in the 2100 block of 16th Avenue Northwest. At approximately noon on Monday, September 14th, 2015, police were called to a motel to assist with a medical call after a man was found in his room not breathing. Upon arrival, police and EMS found a deceased man in his mid-40s inside one of the rooms. Circumstances around the death led the officers to believe the death was suspicious, and investigators are now working closely with the medical examiner to determine whether the death was criminal in nature. An autopsy is expected to occur on Wednesday morning. Anyone with information about this incident is asked to contact the Calgary Police Service non-emergency line at 403-266-1234 or Crime Stoppers anonymously. Information is very limited, but I can now take some questions.
I guess let's start with what happens from here.
You know what? Just like any other criminal investigation, we're canvassing the area for evidence. We want to connect to witnesses that may know things. We want to make sure that all investigative steps are coordinated and covered off so that we have a full understanding of what occurred, so that a decision as to whether suspicious or not, or any other investigative avenue is correct moving forward.
This is close to the area where there was another recent shooting. Is there any suspicion that there could be some kind of connection there? Or?
There's no connection at this point.
In terms of, do we know, or first off, was he pronounced dead at the motel or was he transported to hospital?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I guess, obviously when I come here and I speak to you and the information I've given you is vague. Some of it is because our investigators need the opportunity to gain the understanding by looking at all the evidence there, and it's been just a reasonably short time since this has all started. The other part being, it protects the integrity of the investigation if we stay away from describing things in great detail at this point. Right?
Do we know if he's a Calgary citizen, a resident of the hotel, or anything about his status?
No, not at this point. I don't. And if I did, I'm not sure it would be appropriate to release it at this time.
Have any witnesses come forth so far?
In the process of attending this call, it was to check on the welfare of an occupant at the motel. So everybody that was involved in that whole process has been cooperative. They're working with investigators to make sure that any questions they may have are answered appropriately.
Any indication how long he'd been staying there? Or?
No, and we might, and that's, some of those answers can come from an autopsy, which is why we've told you when that is. So usually in the past, not every time, but most of the times after the autopsy, if it's an investigation that does end up resting with the homicide unit, all further briefings about it will come from the homicide unit at that time.
There's a large scene cordoned off there. Are residents able to get in and out? How long do you guys plan on being there?
We put the scene out as big as possible at the beginning to make sure we have an opportunity to collect any evidence that may be associated to this event. It's always better to go bigger and then scale down as the event becomes clearer to the first responders. We work with people in the motel. We work with the businesses in the area to make sure they understand what's happening. Everybody's been cooperative and understanding, and they realize that this is an important event that has to be properly managed. So I think it's that communication piece at the scene. And people are going to be able to get to their rooms. They might be inconvenienced or have been. I think now that most people are where they need to be.
Do you know if there was any surveillance or CCTV cameras in the area?
You know what? That's going to be part of the investigative steps that are used to figure out what happened prior to, during, and after what they deem to be the time of this event. So I can't get into it at this point.